Hello, everyone. My name is Nicole Pringle, and I am the president of Gullah Business of Charleston. And today I have the vice president.
Hello.
Now, we have a special guest here today, and you've seen her. We've seen her on social media. You've seen Target while black, retail while black, to get all your black-owned products. This is the person that I was looking at to shop and find everything. And I love Target too, so. We have Marissa here from Retail and Target While Black. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
Oh my goodness, this is like a treat. I just wanted to know, how did you get started? Which one did you start with first? Was it Target or Retail While Black?
I started with Target first, and it was kind of an accident. Which is it's kind of it's an interesting story. I thought it was an interesting story until I realized that it's everybody's story, and I just so happened to make a page based off of it. But growing up, my grandmother, my mom is mixed. My mom is African American and Spaniard. So my grandmother on her side was this white lady from Spain. So she had all these kids that she wanted to see represented. So she would actually buy them things. She was actually the first person to make me my own very own doll. She made me my first black doll. She sewed it for me. Um, but she would color all of the Santas, so we would have black Santas because the black Santas wasn't the thing. Like kind of sort of you can find one maybe like at Cracker Barrel or somewhere, like one or two here or there. But this particular year, it was the pandemic, and I was going to Target because I wanted Legos. Um, and across from the Lego aisle was the holiday aisle in Target. And there were, I mean, I tell you, the people in there probably thought it was insane. They had all kinds of black Santas, black nutcrackers. They were all on an end cap. And I lost it. I said, wait, is this a joke? Like, what is all of this? Is this happening? And I was so excited about that I started sharing all the different things I could find. I found angels, I found wrapping paper, and people really loved that. So they started following me. So Black History Month rolls around. Christmas is over, right? So what am I going to share now? I don't know what I'm going to share. I'll share Black History Month stuff. So I started sharing the people who were a part of the Black History Month collections, because I don't know if you guys remember, but like it's like 7 years ago now, but Target would make Black History Month collections, but there would barely be any like Black people involved in the collections. They were collections where they would make like shirts that had historical figures on them, but people were like, but who made this? Is just this the Target brand, and is Target just getting the money? So they made a pivot that next year, I think it was 2021, where that Black History Month collection was full of Black people who made the Black History Month collection. It was like Mess in the Bottle, and a couple other brands that were a part of that collection. So I started sharing the people who made the collections that were in Target. And that kind of like snowballed into me sharing other Black owned businesses that were in Target and the owners of those brands and their story. And that got the ball rolling on Target While Black. Now, Retail While Black came up later, like a full year and a half later, because people kept asking me, can you do Black owned at Ulta? Can you do Black owned at Walmart? Can you do all of these other stores? And I was like, y'all, I cannot be Black owned at all of these places. Like I can barely keep up with going to Target as much as I need to go. So I was like, what if I just like did one like catch-all brand where I could share, Black owned things everywhere. And that's how I got here.
Oh, wow. And what year did you start?
It was 2020, November of 2020. So it's been almost 4 years.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Yeah.
It's like,
Wow.
okay. And congratulations again. And
Thank you.
so, what I would like to mention too, because I'm one of those consumers too. I was looking at your post, and it really helped me out tremendously over a year ago when I was trying to look for like Christmas presents for my daughter, because again, representation is very important to me too. I wanted to get her a doll that looked like her hair texture, all that good stuff. So thank you for doing that. Why you have been doing this ever since, like, for the past 4 years, has it shaped how you look at consumers and look at equity, like at all in when it comes to business and when it comes to like retail?
Absolutely. So I have such interesting conversations about being a Black person that is in like the retail space because I think there's still very much a lot of things that consumers do not know about what it means to be a Black owned business that is inside of, a box retailer. There's a lot of things that go on behind closed doors. And I feel, at least for most people, it's hard to interact with something that you don't really know what's going on. Like you can say it's a Black owned business in there and you were going to shop it because you want to support and you love it, but like it's easy to forget the struggles that those businesses are having inside of those stores because you think that they're successful now because they're on the shelf. And that's not always true. There's a lot of things going on. I think also I have interesting conversations with people who don't necessarily agree with quote unquote Black capitalism. That's a very interesting conversation that I have with people sometimes. And I get what they're saying, but I'm like, we don't even have a lot of the capital to be capitalist. You know what I mean? Like we're like, we don't even have our very cheap sheet of the pie to like really, really like hone down in on that conversation and talk about like what it means to support Black owned businesses and how we fit in this like corporate structure. Um, but I think for me personally, I have a hard time sometimes going into stores and just shopping because I'm like, who made this? Where'd this come from? Is this a small business? Is it a big business? Like what's in this? Like the way I shop is just, it's made it easier in some ways because I know what I'm looking for, but also harder to like enjoy the shopping experience when I go in there and I can't just buy anything anymore. Everything that I buy is a conscious effort of I bought this.
Mhm.
If I can't find it in Black, then I try to find it in somebody else's community. Like, oh, can I find this? Can I find it Asian owned or can I find this Latina owned? Like I have a checklist in my head for everything. Which again makes it easy because I know what I'm looking for. I know a lot of the brands, but also hard because people just buy things. They're just like, oh, I'm just gonna go on Amazon. I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna buy this random dress. And I'm like, for me, I don't want a random Black dress. Like, is there a small business that can make the Black dress that I can wear? So it definitely made it different for me in my own
Mm,
experience.
mm,
I understand that. I
yeah.
really do. Consumer power is something that a lot of people don't think about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like that's how you promote, that's how you show visibility to companies. And I think since we've been doing this platform, it really has challenged me to do that. Think about who's actually making these items,
Right.
and how it's supporting them.
Right.
So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Right. It's interesting. And there's a lot of conversation, a lot of nuance and learning that I think has to go on for the brand
Mhm.
and for the consumers if we're going to get a true economy back. And I say back because I don't want to go on a tangent with y'all, but I say back because when I think about like when we had the Green Book and like we had all the businesses that we would go to, it was
Mhm.
much easier to be in a Black economy because you had the support the people that were around you, right? And there was like whole hubs of where people existed to do that. But
Mhm.
now we exist so, like everywhere. There's not really like whole hubs anymore. There are some places, but like I don't live in Atlanta. I live in Florida. I live in Tampa, Florida. There's not just like a street that I can go to with a bunch of Black owned, but I have to be conscious about everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just wanted to say too, congratulations on your engagement.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I was like, I'm gonna
That
work people out talking about my engagement.
no, listen, that ring is beautiful.
Thank
Yes, congratulations.
you.
Oh
Congratulations.
man. Yeah, and I got a chance to interview her on what was it? Wednesday, your jeweler.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
my
did
yeah,
you?
yeah. Oh my gosh. I was like, that ring is beautiful. So how did you even find her? Like, how did that come about?
I found her 4 years ago when I first started my Target page.
Wow.
I started
Wow.
following her 4 years ago and I saved her for 4 years to make my ring for me because I knew I was going to get engaged. So I always had her in the back of my head that that's who I was going to use to make my ring.
Wow.
That's awesome. And you know we got to see the
Yes.
brain, so all our followers.
I only have half of it. My
Yeah.
fiance confiscated the other half, but
Oh, he
here's
took the other
half of
half.
it.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Thank
Beautiful.
you.
Wow. Wow. That's super exciting. Congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
So since you've been doing this, do you have a success story about a business that called you and said you went there and then either Target or Retail While Black and the sales started going?
Yeah, so I have a lot of stories like that. Actually, the brands have started saying that it's a Marissa effect, like you get shared on her page, and all of a sudden, like your sales are gonna go up. So I think for the most recent one was Play Pits. So I've shared like an update on them, hey, there's an update. They changed their formula. It's no longer like doing that clumpy thing. Which in this space too, I feel like when you're a Black owned businesses, people don't allow you to make mistakes or grow. Like they're not really like they use you once, and if they don't like you, they're not willing to like try again with something else. So I don't think I consciously did that when I reshared it, but I reshared it because I was like, oh, this is a problem that I know a lot of people were telling me that they were having in my DMs about the formula being clumpy and like leaving stains on their clothes. And that's something they updated and they fixed. So I shared that, hey, they updated and they fixed this. Like maybe you go try it again. I was not expecting that video to go viral again. And
Mm.
not only new people finding them, but the people who didn't use them before going back and trying it again.
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
and she was like, this post, this this post did amazing.
Wow.
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 That
The
is
power
so
of social media, right?
The
yeah.
power of social media, yeah.
Wow. That changes everybody's lives. It really does.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's I feel like it's important to note too that people trust people in their community more, especially Black content creators. Like there was a whole article they were talking about how people are more willing to buy things when they know somebody's tried it, like a influencer or
Mhm.
content creator. But specifically in the Black community, Black creators have more influence than other ones do. So we should definitely be using our voice in any way possible. There's always a chance you're gonna go viral.
And you see, this kind of makes me think of also too, we had on recently Julo Shop. She, the creator for that one, she has a website that she has up where she tries all these products that are made by Black people, all natural products, chemical free, and she tries them out, her and her family, and she posts them up there to go ahead and give these brands visibility. And
Yes,
so, just with the conversation you're having, it is so true. And we were having a conversation about visibility and how many times it can hurt Black owned businesses a little bit harder because they have limited visibility. They don't have as many resources when they first start off, and they have to put so much money into things that maybe they can't afford their packaging to be just right for the products that they send out. And
right.
so anything can hurt them. And so that's so powerful that your post that you put up there telling about this company that corrected a problem went viral over again and helped them, that's awesome. And I think as content creators, we really need to think about not only focusing on just exposing the truth, but building up each other because it
Right.
takes a village.
Right.
So,
And being conscious about the way you say things, right? Like
mhm.
there can be an issue. And I think that's a lot of times where we get in like a back and forth when there's like something that you didn't like about the business. I just for me, my one of my pet peeves is when you don't like something about a business and you're like, this Black owned business, my I feel like my ear starts hurting. Because I'm like, that is not because they're a Black owned business. It's because small businesses have struggles. It's a small
Mhm.
business issue. And if we frame it this way, then it makes everything about it negative.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. That's
Yeah.
true.
We saw you at Essence. Now, can you just tell us about Essence? Because hopefully we can get there next year.
Hmm.
Essence is always a vibe. What I liked about Essence this year, which I think a lot of people didn't like, but I liked it. So I noticed that the small businesses were not in the back. They weren't like hidden. Now, mind you, when I went there, I think like 3 years ago, when I went with Target to Essence, It wasn't necessarily that the small businesses were like hidden per se, but it wasn't so much of a focus on them. And then, the businesses were, you got to drop a lot of money on any conference you go to. Like you got to have a booth set up,
Mhm.
you got to have product, you need to promote. There's a lot of money that goes into that. And there's a certain aspect of return that a lot of businesses are hoping to see, and they weren't getting that. Some of them didn't get it this year, but I liked the direction that it was going. The businesses were up towards the front. They had, do you know New Voices? Are you guys familiar with them?
No.
So New Voices is like an organization, and they do promotion for brands that are in retail shelves, but small businesses that are on retail shelves. So they do like they had a whole display of all the small businesses that were in retail inside of the convention center, which I thought was pretty cool too. Because it allowed you to see, for example, Hustle and Hope was on there. So Hustle and Hope was there, and then she got a retail shelf position. So it showed her brand. She was there. She talked about it. And it's another rung on the ladder. I think that when we're having conversations like this, I'm like, retail is just another tool for people, for brands to use.
Mhm.
It's not be all end all. It's not you have to be there. It's just a tool for you to use to elevate your brand if you so choose to be in a retailer. But I thought Essence was really cool. Now, Essence is Essence, but New Orleans is New Orleans. New Orleans is always New Orleans, okay? Like, so even if you don't go over to the convention center, even if you just stay in New Orleans and go eat at the businesses in New Orleans. Matter of fact, don't even go to Bourbon Street if you're in New Orleans. Just forget it exists. Just go explore like for real New Orleans.
Mhm.
You'll never be unhappy. You can never be unhappy in New Orleans.
Exactly. I'm trying to get my cousin to go there. I went there. It was probably like 5 or 6 years ago. My first
Uh-huh.
time being there, it was Thanksgiving. I had such a ball. I went to the parades. I said Southern and gambling. But it was so fun. It was so
So
fun.
fun.
It's a whole vibe. It's a
So
whole vibe.
New Orleans, there's few places like you go and you're just the food in New Orleans, just the
I know.
food. Oh my
I've been
God.
looking
I was
at it.
going to places that didn't even have doors, and I was like, this is amazing.
Yes, it's the hole in the walls and it's
Yes.
combinations you wouldn't think about even having. I'm like, what
Yeah.
in the world? And then you text her like, oh my God. And you just like, you're sitting
So
up here.
good.
I
Yes.
have never heard nobody say anything bad about it. I can't wait to go.
Yes, you need to go. I was like,
Mm,
eating. And that was the perfect time of the year to go to in the fall because in the summer it really get hot. It was like,
oh, when
Yeah.
it
but
went.
it was
Mm.
so good going November. It
Yeah,
was.
in the summer with Essence, I almost missed my. So the first lady had the nerve to show up, and I'm saying it like this because she blocked all the streets down, and I needed my Uber, and I couldn't get an Uber, y'all, because all the streets were
Ooh.
blocked down. So I had to sprint walk at least 4 blocks back to my hotel to try to get my Uber to catch my airplane. And I was like, Madam Vice President, you please, please, I need to get on my airplane.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, well, we're gonna speak it to existence. We're gonna be at Essence next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
You
gonna
know how long
speak
I've
it.
been trying to go to Essence?
Yes.
I know. And some of the people that we had on went to Essence. I'm not sure if you're familiar with HBCU Legacy Fashion with Shalana
Yes.
Folk. She
Uh-huh.
was there and she was talking about her experience, and I was so excited. I was like, yes.
Yes,
Mhm.
it's a good time. And I would say too, like you guys like pitch yourself, like start pitching yourself to people. Be like, I'll be a content creator for your brand, and just like show up and do their content, but like also be at Essence for the free skis.
You're right. We putting it
Yeah.
out there. This
We
year it's
put
gonna
it out
happen.
there. We could be there for,
Yes,
we
yes.
could be there
Do like
for
street
you.
style interviews. Oh, so fun.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be really good. I would love that. I'll be probably eating a beignet and just, you know, trying
Yeah,
to do an
you
interview
gotta-
at the same time.
yeah.
Oh man, I had powdered sugar on my shirt the whole time I was in.
That was
Yeah,
me when I went there.
yeah.
Like, But I was just really surprised Nicole never went. She's been everywhere else. And I was like, Dad, you have not been there
It's
yet.
been New Orleans and Vegas. These are the
Yeah.
two places I have to hit, and I haven't hit them. I've been everywhere else, but not those places. Like I'm getting there.
Yeah. You
2025.
know, I have like my first introduction to New Orleans was like very it wasn't as fun as it is to me now, but my dad is a first responder for natural disasters. So 19
Oh.
years ago, he went to New Orleans after Katrina hit for the hurricane. He like rebuilt houses and does temporary housing and all that stuff for people who have been affected by natural disasters. So that was my first time going there, and seeing and helping and seeing the businesses there when my dad was there. And he was there for a long time. I think he was there for like 7, 8 years, helping
Wow.
after that. So like to see that was my first, and I was like, I was young. I think I was like 11, maybe. To see that as my first experience and just like to experience what New Orleans is like now is also, I don't know. I love that. I love going back and seeing like how they've overcome and all the things that are still like it's still New Orleans. Like you still get all those good feels when you leave.
So we got another question. Looking ahead, what long-term goals do you see for Retail While Black and Target While Black?
Um, so I kind of stepped away from my Target page a little bit. Not completely, but like I'm not on there as much as I was before. For a lot of reasons, but I just felt like I am so much more than just that one place. And I'm tired. I was tired of going to Target all the time. I know that sounds so weird, but I was over it. I was like, okay, to be able to show up here every now and then, give the girls a little update, but like I don't want to like just exist in that because it wasn't allowing me to, I feel like, to be like fully creative. So long term, I will probably be putting a lot more energy, and you can see I put a lot more energy in my retail page. And I do consulting now. So I do social media management for a lot of our favorite Black owned brands. It may not be them running the page, it may be me.
Okay.
So I do that as well. And I'm an author. And I think that page will always exist in like the lifestyle and Black way that it is existing now. But I think moving forward, I'll be doing a lot more behind the scenes help with the other brands. And I have this idea of the brands watching this who are going to see this and be like, you're going to make a product? Yes. I finally caved. I will be making something. We'll see how long it takes me to get there. But I just want to see more equity in all the spaces, specifically the retail spaces. But there's a lot of things that I feel like I want to get my fingers into. I'm a restless spirit when it comes to doing things.
Oh, wow. That's good. That's constantly
Uh-huh.
evolving, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes. So this is the last question. I know you can handle this. So, if you could describe your experience shopping with Black-owned businesses and brands, what would be 3 words and why would you choose them?
Oh, okay. So my first word, and I say that a lot, is dynamic, because I think that when I'm experiencing a lot of shopping for Black-owned businesses, people like assume that we're in certain categories. I am always able to find Black-owned businesses in any category. I think the hard part about it is finding what you like within that category, but it's not that they don't exist there. Like whatever you want, it exists. So I would say dynamic is my first word. Um, Two, I would say enlightening, because I've learned a lot shopping for Black-owned businesses. I understand why sometimes there's not um travel size versions of things. I understand why they're not on all the end caps. I understand when
Mhm.
they are on an end cap that it costs them a pretty penny. Um, so dynamic, insightful. And my last word, what do I want to use for my last word? I kind of want to say enlightening, because I think through shopping Black-owned brands and learning people's stories and journeys and how they made their brand and all the struggles they had, has made me a better person, has made me a better consumer, makes me even understand like within my community more. Like there's very I know that we are a people who are resilient, but I don't think something about business resilience is crazy.
Mhm.
Mm. Yeah.
So enlightening, insightful, and dynamic.
Well,
Wow.
you heard it from us. So thank you again for coming on because this is powerful. Thank you so much. And you're right. When you have that business resiliency, it's different. It's
Mm.
not for the weak-hearted. It's not.
Yeah.
Not. Things will always be changing. Don't think anything is concrete, and some things you won't get closure for, but just know a bigger and better door is opening for you.
Yes.
Because we've only been here for a year and we have seen that.
Yes.
We're like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We look at each other and just be like, okay.
Yep, 100%. And there's that putting everything on the line too, right? Because like
Mm-hmm.
you can make one wrong misstep and be like, okay, how did I just get $10,000 in debt? Like, what just happened here? How am I doing this? So more power to all the businesses out there being small and having the gumption to keep trying every single day when you really don't know what you're doing, but you're trying to do it anyway.
That's what
Yes,
it is too. I call it freestyle.
it is. And what's the other thing we learned too? We learned through this year. Do it even if you're scared. Just do it
Yeah.
scared.
And
Yeah.
just
Do it
start.
scared.
And just start, like just start anywhere. Just pick up something and just start.
Just start. Yeah. And stay consistent if you can. Yeah.
Okay. But and that's the thing, the wonderful thing about doing these features for different people because we gain wisdom too, not only for the people that's going to watch this in the future, but we gain it too as well because it pushes us a little bit further. Like, hey, everybody's had those moments where like they're looking at it like, oh gosh, what in the world just happened? Or I just need that push to just go another step forward.
Yeah.
But your platforms, what you are doing, congratulations. And as well, even the book. If you want to come on, please reach out to us. Let us know next time you're available. We'll just do a segment on your book. So,
Listen, yes, please. Let me just show you guys my book.
oh, the airfare me. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's a fun story.
Oh, that is so awesome. And I'm a librarian too. So I've worked in libraries for the past 7 years in public, and I went to academic and went back to public. So representation on the shelves are very, very important to me. So
Yes,
I would
yes,
love to have you come back on to tell us more about your book, what inspired you to do it. Because
yeah,
I
I
just
would
get
love that.
excited seeing somebody color on a book cover. I just get excited about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And especially like little black boys. There's not a lot of books with them on it. Like it's a lot of like girl and my hair and all that stuff. And it's like that's cute, but we need to empower the little boys too. Where is their representation? I was a mom that was always looking for stuff for my son, and I was like,
Yes. I think I think the most powerful book I read, and I remember it came out a few years ago, was Derek Barnes' The Crown. And I talk about it all the time, but it's the ode to the haircut, how it makes a black boy feel good when he gets that
yes,
fresh cut. You can't tell them nothing, and
that's
that's
it.
so true.
Yes. Yes, exactly, exactly. But that's so cool because I always say in another life I would have been a librarian. You might see me and just I might retire and just be a librarian, open up a bookstore.
Oh, that'd be
It's
nice.
always
Bookstore.
good. It's always good. So thank you. Thank you again.
Yeah.
And if anyone wants to get in contact with you, how would they be able to or see more of your platform for our future followers and anybody that'll view this later on?
Yes. So I'm at Retail Well Black on all platforms. And if you need to email me about something, you can email me at hello@retailwellblack.shop.
Thank you for joining us again for another Gullah Business of Charleston feature. Target Wild Black and Retail Wild Black founder. We thank you again. We hope that you get nuggets of wisdom from this. Pass this along, like, tag, and share. Appreciate it so much for you taking the time. And again, make sure you follow her page. She's doing some great things. So just know that we all have consumer power and we're fighting for equity for Black owned businesses and brands. So Like, tag, and share. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.